Running out of money and now running out of options to make money, is it finally time for Harry and Meghan to start merging the kids? And how are they going to do that if the children don't even exist? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel. Well, folks, I can't say that I'm really surprised to come across this news. This is something that we have predicted before. We have said that if Meghan and Harry actually have these children, when they start running out of options and when they start getting really desperate, they're going to turn to the kids as a way to make money. And it could be that this was the plan the entire time. Maybe that's why they have been so secretive about these children and refused to show their faces for such a long time. Meghan, after all, is somebody who loves to manufacture mystery, I'll put it that way. I mean, she loves to create a bunch of hype around a situation that's really not all that interesting. She believes that acting all vague and just plain weird about stuff makes people more interested in her. Is it true? Well, probably not, but she's convinced that it is. And now, according to a new report, Harry and Meghan may be ready to finally show those children's faces, to make money, of course. After Spotify decided to cut those two losers off, we immediately started hearing rumors that Netflix was considering doing exactly the same. It's not like Harry and Meghan have been a roaring success with Netflix after all. I mean, sure, their first docu-series, creatively titled Harry and Meghan, did okay, but the next two projects they were involved in were massive flops. There was that Live to Lead series, which apparently they weren't even involved in from the very beginning, but just attached their names later on. And then, of course, there was the Invictus documentary, Heart of Invictus, which also didn't do very well, mostly due to the fact that Harry and Meghan tried to make it all about themselves. And then back in November, when Meghan showed up at that gala and spent too much time on the red carpet and had to be shoved off, she was bragging that she and Harry, quote, have so many exciting things on the slate. Meghan said, I can't wait until we can announce them, but I'm just really proud of what we're creating. So she was hinting that they are working on something behind the scenes. Of course, I wasn't convinced then, and I'm not convinced now that anything is really happening. Honestly, I can't imagine anything that they could be working on right now that would be a guaranteed success. And now we've got a PR expert, Lynn Karat, speaking with The Mirror. She's from Pressbox PR, and she has weighed in on what she thinks may be in store for Harry and Meghan in the new year. So she said there were rumors in mid-2023 that streaming giant Netflix would follow suit and cut ties with Harry and Meghan like Spotify. But I don't think this will be the case. She went on to say Netflix have publicly said that their exciting journey with the couple won't be over anytime soon. Well, it's still hard to say. I think, okay, as far as Netflix goes, Netflix could hold on to them until their contract runs out because that's going to happen in 2025 anyway. So it could be they're trying to milk the last few dimes they can out of Harry and Meghan before they cut them loose forever. And another thing is, Netflix really needs to earn back their investment. They may not want to give up on that just yet. But at the same time, we have heard reports that executives at Netflix are feeling frustrated with the pair because they can't really produce anything valuable. Let's look at the facts. We know for a fact that they canceled Meghan's animated series Pearl before it was ever aired. We know that Harry and Meghan, the docu-series, did okay. We know that Heart of Invictus was a huge flop and Live to Lead was also a huge flop. So something tells me the bosses at Netflix are not so thrilled with Harry and Meghan's performance at this point. Lynn also shared her ideas about what Harry and Meghan may do next for Netflix. She said, I'm certain audiences would like to see a second fly-on-the-wall documentary about how family life is for them now and see how the children have changed and grown up. We really don't get much of an insight into their home life. It's more often than not related to the royal family. Okay, to be fair, I don't know anything about this Lynn woman. I have no idea what she really thinks of Meghan and Harry, but to me this sounds like bait. Maybe she's like us. Maybe she also believes that Harry and Meghan don't have any real children living with them, and maybe that's why she's putting this out there. I mean, Harry and Meghan, it would be a pretty good idea to pull back the curtain and let us know what's really going on inside of that Olive Garden-looking Montecito McMansion. But I don't believe they're going to do it. After all, how are Harry and Meghan gonna give us a picture of how the children have changed and grown up when the children don't even live with them? We've also heard multiple reports that Harry and Meghan don't even live in that Montecito monstrosity. It could be. Honestly, at this point, I don't really believe anything that has to do with the two of them. So again, I think this second fly-on-the-wall documentary would be incredibly difficult to actually produce because Harry and Meghan would have to show the children, number one, they probably don't even have children, and number two, they may not even be living in the place they claim to live. I think at this point, too, it would be incredibly difficult for Harry and Meghan to maintain this facade that they really do love each other and that they're happy in their lives. I mean, you can see it especially in Harry's face when they're out and about. I believe he has fallen completely out of love with Meghan, and now he's just hanging on because he doesn't know where to go from here. Meghan Markle is an actress, albeit not a very good one, but Harry's not an actor. There is no way that he could keep up appearances for an entire documentary or docuseries or whatever. We've also heard these rumors that Harry and Meghan are wanting to produce the film version of the best-selling novel Meet Me at the Lake. Lynn basically says the same thing. She says Harry and Meghan paid a rumored £3 million for the film rights to Carly Fortune's Meet Me at the Lake novel, a story that has similarities to Meghan and Harry's real life. She went on to say it's a brave step from Netflix allowing the couple to step out of their areas of expertise and produce a film drama in which they have no previous experience in. And then she concluded, but the book is a bestseller, so they'll be hoping the couple can do the film version the same justice. Well, again, I think if you read between the lines here, Harry and Meghan shouldn't get very excited about this report. It sounds like this PR expert is not so confident that Harry and Meghan can possibly be successful as producers of a fiction film. Again, why would they even try such a thing? They have no experience in production. I know Meghan claims she can do anything she wants to do, but she can't. The woman is not talented, and she's not a hard worker. It was Netflix also who bought the rights to that film. I don't believe for a second they're just going to hand it over to Harry and Meghan to make a complete mess of. And let's remember that just back in November, we were hearing all these reports that Harry may not want to work for Netflix anymore after what they did with his late mother on The Crown. According to a separate PR expert, Ryan McCormick, who spoke with the Mirror way back in November, Harry appeared on James Corden's The Late Late Show in 2021 and said this of The Crown, it's fictional, but it's loosely based on the truth, and then added, I am way more comfortable with The Crown than I am seeing the stories written about my family or my wife or myself. He went on to say, if The Crown should present Princess Diana's death in a way that is not respectful or focuses heavily on sensationalism over sentimentality, Harry's future with Netflix could be uncertain. He may very well publicly sever ties with them out of protest. I think at this point, though, we can rule that out completely. I think if Harry were going to publicly sever ties with Netflix, he would have already done it. Netflix did make a mess out of Diana's death. They were not respectful at all. I mean, the way they portrayed her as a ghost, that was so insulting, so offensive. But see, at this point, Harry depends on Netflix. He cannot cut ties with them. I mean, come on. If he chooses to sever ties with Netflix, then where are they going to go from here? No other company wants to work with them. And even if Harry were upset with Netflix and wanted to cut ties, I don't believe Meghan would allow such a thing. Ryan also noted that the big issue for Harry will be how they handle the pain that Harry and William experienced after their mother passed away. He said if the Princess of Wales's passing is presented in a respectful manner and it shows the tremendous suffering that William and Harry endured, it could keep the Duke's relationship with Netflix strong for years. I don't see Harry being happy with how Netflix handled that either, though. Remember how they took the line away from Harry and gave it to William? The one where Harry was all upset about people mourning for Diana because they didn't even know her? Well, yeah, that moment was portrayed in The Crown, but it was William who said it, and I'm sure that got to Harry. After all, the one thing he hates more than anything is his brother getting credit for something he has done. And there's another PR expert, Matt Yanofsky, who weighed in on this, and he agrees with what we're saying, that Harry has no choice but to remain connected to Netflix. He said being a prince is very expensive when you don't have the royals fronting your expenses, so I'm sure Harry will take all the work he can get. You know what they say, beggars can't be choosers, and at this point in time, Harry is certainly in the beggar category. He and Meghan have had so many deals fall through, we don't even know where they're getting their money from at this point in time. And I don't believe they have gotten the big payout from Netflix up front that they acted like they did. I think that was just what they were going to make if they really followed through with all the projects, which so far, I highly doubt they have. Honestly, though, one thing I am looking forward to finding out in 2024 is if Harry and Meghan and Archwell Productions is really going to produce this Meet Me at the Lake film. Surely Netflix is not going to be so foolish. We haven't heard anything about it in quite some time, so we're just going to have to stay tuned and watch for news on that one. Alright everybody, that's all the time that we've got for now. So, in the comments section, I want to hear your opinions on how likely it is that Harry and Meghan are going to do another docuseries, and this time they're going to show the children. Let me know what you think. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please do like and share it with anybody else who would appreciate it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.